brain slew, slick with ectoplasmic juice. Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory. With genealogy, with spiritual topography. Questions for your answers, we are data necromancers.
Dookie, 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 balls, balls, balls.
Dookie, 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 dookie,
Balls, balls, balls.
This is how we summon good information.
Dookie, 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 balls, balls, balls. Why do you have these cans over here? Are we going to drink?
Yeah, I thought we could drink them and just get them out of my fucking pantry.
Are they haunting you?
There's just no place for canned boba in my, like, it's important to me on a metaphysical level that everything has a home.
Yeah.
So.
Sick. We'll give him a home.
We'll give him a home in our diarrhea gullets.
Yeah! Dookie, 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 dookie. Balls, balls, balls.
Good morning, good evening, good infinite time flat circle.
Buongiorno.
Where are you on your flat time circle?
Matthew McConaughey's.
Is that from this HBO?
Yeah, there's a show where he plays a character.
That was a good show. I don't remember. It was so good I don't remember the name of
He
it.
said something about time being a flat circle.
I thought we could start today with a meditative exercise.
Cheers, darling.
And then a quick story about poop. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of poop, but
have you seen this? It's becoming a lot more popular nowadays.
It's a big trend, yeah. Poop. P-O-O-P, in case you didn't know how to spell it.
You know that brown emoji that you don't know what it is?
We'll tell you. All right, I want everybody to close their eyes. And see, this is a part of the church. And picture your mother. Now, your mom is dead, and she was either a good mom or a bad mom. You have a tumultuous relationship or not. Or you've got a nice mom. It's like one of those, right? Sorry, there's people who've never called me or called me before. Maybe it's a butt dial. Anyways. Picture.
Was it your mom? Sorry.
I want you to picture your mom. First, we'll go with the tumultuous relationship. Picture a version of her. I have to picture my mom before she was my mom to connect with her. And she's looking directly at you, right in your eyes. And I want you to open your heart. And I want these words to flow into your heart. You are doing such a good job. And I am so proud of you. And everything you like is interesting to me. I love you. And I'll always love you, no matter what. Now, if you have a good relationship with your mom, I want you to picture a big beam of light coming from your source mother and going into those of us who have fractured relationships into our mother. And then we're going to picture the light between good moms, source mothers, everybody collectively, whenever you're listening to this podcast, pour into the laser beam of fractured mother relationships. And then we will close the conduit.
Holy shit.
It's always crazy to picture your mom looking right into your eyes. Like for me, I'm like,
what is it? What did I do?
What did I do wrong?
Am I in trouble? A question popped into my head while we were meditating. That was glorious, by the way. Thank you.
Wasn't it kind of nice?
You're really good at leading meditations.
I'll do that. That's our church, man.
Holy shit. So my question is, do you have to give birth to be a mother?
I don't know. I mean, I think there are varying degrees of motherhood. You know, whenever I see one of those bumper stickers, it's like, dog mom. I'm like, did the dog come out of your fucking pussy? Did you labor for 50 hours trying to push a dog out of your fucking pussy? But then that's one side of the Whitney coin. We always look at all the sides of the Whitney coin. But the other coin is like, you get up every day and you feed an animal food. Mm-hmm. You have a connection with that animal. And that is one frequency of motherhood to a degree. An undying, unconditional love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was also thinking about like adoptive moms.
Oh, yeah.
Or surrogate moms, or like aunts who step in to replace moms who are shitty, or like
I think
mother figures, you know?
Oh, yeah. Mother figures are 100%. If you have to ever bear a responsibility that you can't just go walk away from or go
so there's
home
a condition, there's like an unconditional love aspect of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we question whether that can exist without carrying a child or having.
No, I don't. It's funny because they've monitored mothers' brains and they say, man, this part of their brain gets bigger. Whatever. So they looked at homosexual couples. The same thing would happen.
Yeah.
The person that would become the mother, that part of their brain would physically alter.
Yeah.
And I think, if a baby was dropped off at your doorstep and you're like, fuck, you would have a physiological change.
Yeah.
Just this is it. I have to do this.
Yes.
It's,
Incroyable. I love that we are mammals which give live birth, and because of
you don't want a cloaca?
Because of our gigantic brains, we have to spit the baby out way before it's done cooking and then spend the rest of its life pretty much.
Haven't we talked about this? What if we had pussies that were big enough for our brains so we could carry the baby longer, but then the dicks would have to be bigger?
Isn't it?
No, it's like everything would have to be bigger and wider and deeper.
We would be like triangles. A triangle body on two sticks. Yeah, that, I don't know. That's crazy. Because like a lot of animals give live birth, but I guess their kids' heads are not so gigantic that they can like cook longer, or like they'll get further along in their development. Like a giraffe will fall from its mother's 6 foot high pussy
just right on the fucking gross.
And it's like, you better get up and start running around because
something gonna eat you.
It is imperative that you get up and realize that you're alive.
Baby cow is veal, right? So like, what's baby giraffe?
I don't know. Well, baby cow is only called veal in a meat context. When it's alive, it's called a calf.
Right.
And I think maybe giraffes are giraffe calf.
Giraffe calf.
Guess it could be a joey or a kid. I think baby goats are called kids. I don't know.
That makes sense that we all just got that name from goats. Fucking kids out of my way!
Chewing on everything.
All right, I have a funny story about poop.
Hit me with it.
I laughed for like 40 minutes in my bed last night. Lucas came home. We were debriefing. He's like, did the dogs eat? I'm like, yeah. He's like, they didn't finish their food. I'm like, yeah, I gave them some chicken because we had a rotisserie chicken. He's like, you gave them chicken? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, they're allergic to chicken.
Huh?
And I was like, scanning my codex. And I was like, I do remember Davis having a lot of diarrhea, but it was all the time and it all kind of blends into one.
Oh no.
One instance. I was like, no way, man. I've given them chicken. He's like, okay. He's like, well, if they shit everywhere in the middle of the night, you're cleaning it up. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Fine.
Oh no.
And since he gets home from work at like 11:30, Ruby's gone to bed at 8.
Nice.
She gets up at midnight every night. So it's like, we're kind of like fucking ourselves over a little bit. Then we want to watch Ancient Aliens and then it's 1:30. I feel a dog nose after I had just fallen asleep booping me, which is never a good sign.
No.
They never bother me because they know better. And I get hit with a putrid
I
smell.
know.
Like something's wrong with them. It's not just, I clean up dog shit all fucking day. This is like, oh my God, somebody died in your rectum. I look, there's Murphy and there's, I don't have my glasses on. I'm like, there's a trail of shit.
Oh no.
So, I'm laughing and I'll tell you why. I get up and I'm going to run to go grab a dog poop bag before anybody gets up because Ruby's going to wake up the whole, I don't want her to step in the shit and then whatever. So I'm running to grab the bag. Lucas sees me and I'm like, dude, you got to smell the smell. So hopefully he'll put dog ownership and the smell two to two together and not like get up because there's shit all over the floor.
Oh no.
So I grab a dog bag. I run back. He's got his cell phone flashlight out. I see a silhouette of him tripping. He's going, fuck! What the fuck? Ruby wakes up. He's screaming,
no.
fuck. He stepped on the shit. And I'm just like, dude, this is hilarious because he's been a nurse for over 10 years. He had a patient last night that had congestive heart failure and had been brought in from a hoarder situation.
Yeah.
And so if you don't take care of your body and you have congestive heart failure and all your liquids are pooling in your legs all the time, right? So you need to wear compression socks or elevate your legs or do something because otherwise it's like there's not only blood, but there's like the interstitial fluid. And
I think it's called edema or something like that.
yeah, there's like, he said he was oozing. His legs were covered in sores and he was rotting, right?
Yeah.
And he said the smell was so bad. And Lucas, like I said, ER nurse, he can take it.
Good golly.
He said, I had to leave. I looked at the manager and I said, I need to take a break. And it was so smelly, the whole ER, everybody was freaking out. They're like, what the fuck is that smell? He said flies were landing on him. He had shit himself too, so there was poop in all of his sores. And he said like he was taking off his shoes and there was a mud like flap, 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 and it was just pus. Like there's just pus pooling in his shoes.
Oh no.
He said this guy had never changed his shoes. He may have had these shoes on for, this guy was just clearly ignoring the problem. And so let's send real quick a beam of light to his mother because something happened and he wasn't like, this poor guy's just sitting in his own filth right now.
This guy needs a beam of light.
Yes, that's why I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like,
shit.
oh God, this poor dude. So Lucas like just came home and had to vent about how smelly the smell was for like 25-30 minutes.
Yeah, and then comes the final assault.
And then he steps on a fucking dog nugget in the middle of the night.
Dog.
I was like, I was like, this is your fucking fault. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because you summoned the stink demon. You were around the stink demon and it just, he's like, you go sleep outside. Fuck the dogs aren't sleeping outside. I clean up the shit. It smells bad in there, but we have like a massive air, what the fuck are they called? Air purifier, and it's on full blast.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
No.
It doesn't matter. I go back to sleep. Lucas locks himself in the other room. He's like, fuck that, fuck you, fuck all of this. And I was just laying in bed laughing just because he did the dad thing. It was the ultimate dad move to come in and step on a turd.
Yeah, yeah.
After I was in the middle of cleaning it up. And then maybe an hour later, Davis boops me.
No.
And when something's wrong, Davis transforms into as close of a human as he possibly can.
He's like, mother,
He's
please.
being very polite.
Wake up, mother.
But he does this. He screams like a human. He's not going. He's like. It's a very haunting sound. I've never heard another dog make it. It is very scary. He's a human being, and he was screaming in the night. And I thought for sure he was screaming because he had shit and he was worried about me being mad, but he had to shit. And so it was this.
Oh, he told you before it happened.
He told me before it happened. Murphy was just, He was laying in the middle of the living room the entire time on his back, like just with his belly up. Please don't beat me for shitting. I'm like, it's my fault. It's my fucking fault.
Poor little chicken dogs.
And I just left him outside.
How do they both react that way to chicken?
I don't know. I didn't think Murphy was. Murphy is a diarrhea machine, and I'm not going to go spend $1,500 at the vet to figure out what he's allergic to go buy expensive food he's never going to get. So he has the life of a diarrhea dog. That is just a permanent thing for him. But like Davis he's eaten fiberglass. Like Davis is just a bulletproof machine.
He's a tank.
He's a tank.
But he's still allergic to chicken. I don't get it. Poor babes. What a crazy... I don't smell any poop, by the way.
I gave Davis a piece of bread. I was like, oh, your bread. You got belly hurt? He didn't want it.
He was like, I'll probably never eat again, Mom. Thanks. This hurts really bad in my tummy. Dad, what a crazy night you've had. Full of pork.
Full of poop.
That description of that person with the rotting legs fucked me up. My dad had the liquid pooling in the bottom of his limbs like that. He had to have one of his toes removed, his big toe, because
you didn't get to keep it.
No, it was before he passed away. It wouldn't make any sense for me to take my dad's toe that they lopped off. But his to look at his jeans and his shoes, he was like a cartoon person where they have really big feet and really big ankles. But it was crazy because he would get up in the morning and put his feet on the ground, and he said he could feel the liquid rushing down.
I don't like that.
It's not
Take
good.
care of your bodies, everybody, because
it's because he had type 2 diabetes, which he got from drinking endless amounts of Pepsi and eating Three Musketeers bars constantly.
I'm gonna let everybody in on a little secret. We're all gonna die, and as you age, things get so much harder. So just everybody, I know I'm gonna become a vegetarian at 40. I can just feel it. I'm gonna say goodbye to all the stuff.
A vegetarian or a vegan?
Vegetarian. There's absolutely no way I could give up cheese. If my life depended on it, I would choose death. I would 100% choose death.
She's from the Midwest.
Born and raised.
She's a cheesehead. Not from Wisconsin, though.
And take care of your bodies, please, for the love of God. I'm going to become a bodybuilder riding ADV motorcycles in Africa. I want to die on my deathbed without any pain. And you can get there. We don't have a lot of examples of that. We see old people rotting in the nursing homes, and they all have dementia, and because they're vitamin deficient. And
yeah, I mean, we got to do our best to feed our bodies nutritious things and keep all of our bones and limbs and things in working order. Sometimes shit happens.
I don't know what. There's so many things I want to say. Dude, I'm starting to lift weights again. I want to get fucking ripped.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, Teresa sent us a video of, she was like, this is a Tucker Carlson thing. Just watch it. And I was like, okay. And there is Ashbury College in Ohio?
Kentucky.
There was, there's a prayer group there. They have a prayer group 3 days a week. Normal, college biblical hoo-ha.
That's what my Aunt Leslie calls a vagina.
A hoo-ha?
Hoo-ha.
She should just call it a cunt.
She calls other people cunts, not her pussy.
Right. And from my understanding, they were having a regular prayer service, but something happened. And suddenly there was almost like an ecstatic energy pooling into the chapel. And people from all over the world now are going there. And
is it still going on?
I don't know.
Oh, I should have checked in.
It's probably still going on. Last I checked, it was day 8. Nonstop, 24/7 prayer service. And of course, I messaged it to Megan, and I was like, okay, there's energy. If we look at this on a energetic level or a quantum level, the perfect human portal would be somebody of belief.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they're gonna believe it, so they're gonna be open to it. Mm-hmm. And if you get a lot of them together, and I don't know what kind of energy it is. Maybe it's just always there, and the circumstances have to be right to tap the keg of ecstasy. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like, boom! And it's so sad that like the modern Christians like, does this mean everything will change and everything's gonna get better and Jesus Christ is gonna solve? And you're like, okay, can we just look at marvel at this?
This is the end of our collective spiritual decline.
Yeah.
No,
it's not. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
but it's cool to witness like, whoa! And it happened once in the 70s, I think, at the same college.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a huge, complicated, complex web of like historical events and like the development of Christianity and like belief. And it's crazy because I was just talking to somebody who went to a college, like a non-denominational Christian college, where they had chapel every day at 11 a.m. every weekday, and it was like part of their curriculum. Like you had to attend at least 1 hour a week, right, or you wouldn't get that credit. And so I don't know where to begin. Do you want me to begin with my experience in a Baptist church, or like the history of Protestantism in the United States, or like how do I kick it off?
I want to first hear all the things that came to you as you've watched like the news report of this thing happening.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. When I moved from Sterling, Virginia, which is in Northern Virginia, to Fredericksburg, mm-hmm. we were like some of the first people who bought a townhouse in this kind of backwater area that was right next to a cornfield and like this main two-way highway called Benchmark Road that like led to Eastern Virginia. And so friends were limited, just to say. I don't know. I mean, I'm grateful for the friends I made, but it was like, it's you or nobody.
Right.
So one of my friends at the time, she was from Kentucky, and she invited me to go to church with her. And I was like, all right. Like, I just came from Catholic school. I'll like see what you guys fuck with down here. I don't know what it's going to be like at all. But she went to this place called Faith Christian Center, which was like predominantly Black Baptist church. Pretty big, very lively, very just like jubilant, and everybody would get dressed up so extravagantly, like big hats and stuff, and it was like a fucking party. It was incredible. Like there was like the kids could go early and go do Sunday school, and then like there was the worship service where the band would play and like the choir would sing and everybody would dance and clap, and I was completely invigorated and just like electrified by that portion. And then the pastor would come and do the word, where he would like preach about whatever that topic was that day, and he would like towards the end of his sermon he would ask if people, you know, wanted to come up and have hands laid on them. And I was like, hands laid on them?
What does that mean?
What is this practice? Because in Catholic church or in Catholic school, you don't have hands laid on you unless it's like the terrible pedophilia shit that's happening, or that has happened over the course of history. But when I saw that people would go up there and like the pastor would like look at the top of their head, kind of like this area, and like say some, like speak in tongues, like, and then like touch them and they would be like, hi, you know, and like fall over. And then an usher would, like a person who's in the aisle, just like making sure everything's chill, would come and like put a blanket over them as they laid on the ground. And I was like, what's happening? This is crazy and like wild and cool. Like, why is this happening? So like after a few months of going there, I started to like be a part of that belief system, or like at least sort of start to soak
Tap
up
in.
what they were putting out.
Right.
And so at one point I went up there. I was really scared, but I was like, I need the healing of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And I want to get it. And this is how we get it. So I like went up there and stood up there, and I was like, yes, okay. And then he did the thing, and his like head is way bigger than I thought it would be. He's like a lion, like with a, I don't know. He just had like this huge, impressive personality and charisma, and I felt like a power, like a surge sort of, and I was like, is this happening? Is this really happening? And I like fell backwards. Like that was a genuine reaction, but then staying on the ground and pretending like I needed to be down there was social of me. It was like this, okay, I see people lay here for about 2 or 3 minutes and then they get up and go back. So I'm going to stay down here. But it was like the initial feeling was definitely palpable and like a thing. I don't know what it was, but
I think about tribes, tribal Central American tribes, African tribes, Indian tribes.
Sort of like egalitarian societies where they don't amass surplus objects and stuff, where they have more of a...
And they've got a bunch of people together, and they've got the person that's like, you know, pulsating
the
energy.
Spiritual conduit.
Yeah, and it's... I remember, keeps popping in my head, when I had a healing from Sarah, and Erica was there, and she was healing Erica. She's like, oh, here come all the elementals. Oh, there's an ancestor. Like, she was suddenly... She can see all the energies that are pooling in, and elementals are environmental. So there's like grass and trees. There's all sorts of like nature elementals coming in. And they're super curious and they're small. And so it's like, if you've got somebody who's addressing on an energetic level these things, come to me, come here.
Yeah.
I could imagine, you know, like Spirited Away, like all sorts of little soot sprites.
I was thinking about the little Kodama.
Yeah, they come down and they jump and they're just like bouncing, and then that person can see it, and then there's that validation circuit, you know, of charging energy.
Yeah.
And then
like, I see you, I grant that you are here. Like, that sort of acknowledgement sort of further empowers that presence.
yeah, it would be so cool to sit in there like a fucking poltergeist hunter or something with like a you know, electromagnetic pulsar reader, and just like, whoa, this dude is full of it, you know, like
Yeah.
Those big open channels.
I was gonna say something earlier when you were talking about sort of qualifying like what it takes to like invite that energy in, and you said that it would take somebody of belief, but I think that we should distinguish between belief and faith, because I feel like belief, you can believe in something because you've seen it and you know it's there, and the belief that it will be there when you go back tomorrow is like based in physical empirical evidence. But like faith, you don't get any reassurance that what you believe or what you have faith in is actually real. And I think that's like a more powerful sort of opening force, because like strong faith in what you cannot see, that is like, I think that is even more instrumental in like getting the spirit flowing and like really charging up that lightning rod.
Yeah, for sure.
But like so this movement in our country is like as old as our country,
Right.
because of the reason people migrated over here was like freedom of religion. So we're all Protestant for the most part, except for where Catholicism came over with immigrants later on. So like evangelical Protestantism is like this huge interdenominational umbrella term that sort of gives precedence to personal testimony. And that kid or that college student at Ashbury was giving his personal testimony. And that's sort of like coming to Christ and saying like, this is everything that's wrong with me, and I want to be fully open and present and give that to you and, you know, be one with you. So like your testimony is like how you like get right with Christ. But it's also evangelical in that it's trying to like demonstrate to other people, this is how you get right with Christ. So him like bearing himself like that in a public venue was so attractive to people because that's what evangelical Christianity does. It's like very demonstrative. And it's the same thing that happened to me when I saw people going up for healing. I was like, whoa, I can do that? It like empowers the individual. And that's like the whole basis of our country. It's like empowering the individual to act, because the break from Catholicism was basically like, do we trust ourselves or do we trust these priests who are the intercessors between us and God?
Right.
Like, let's take out the middleman. But it's interesting to think like in Catholicism, one of the predominant doctrines is papal infallibility, where like whatever the Pope says in certain conditions is absolutely true and cannot be questioned, like regarding doctrine or like morality, which is fucked because popes have always just like covered for pedophilia.
Well, and doesn't the Vatican have a massive collection, historical collection of texts and archaeological? I mean, they covet or they hide. They have a bunch of shit that's like super important to humanity, but it's in their personal collection and no one can see it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the conditions are where papal infallibility would be like upheld, but in Protestantism, on the other side of the coin, excuse me,
I must burp. The burp infallibility.
It's the Holy Spirit. In our country, there's a concept or like a what did I just say? A doctrine called biblical inerrancy, where what the Bible says can't be wrong. And I find that these like doctrines of what we have is always right is like so like not self-defeating, but like how can that be right, bro? You wrote that down. Like just because you say I'm always right doesn't mean you're always right. Like that's not a real logical basis for, you know. But I don't know, it was also like instrumental in the Civil War, because at first like this evangelical movement was non-denominational, so every different little branch of Protestantism could get behind it. So it sort of unified the 13 colonies in the 19th century or in the 18th century. But then once like the North started to be evangelical through temperance, like limiting alcohol consumption, but also abolition, and basically trying to put forth the doctrines that they found most important in the Bible based on scripture. Like, these are absolutely correct. Like, this is how we must go. But of course, that threatened the entire economy of the South, because if they agree that scripture said that slavery was bad, their economy would topple. So they found scriptures that were true because biblical inerrancy.
I've seen parallels between now and then, you know. It's always
a study of history is a study of the future. Like, you cannot get away from the things we've already done. But it's just like, it blows my mind that both sides shared this agreement that biblical scripture was absolutely true, but they both had
cherry picking abilities.
Yeah, like not controversial, but what does it mean when two things go against each other? I don't know, opposing evidence for their beliefs, which led them to war.
Misinformation.
There you have it, folks. I thought it was really interesting in the early 19th century, before the Civil War started, the evangelical push, like, put evangelicals as the head of universities and like corporations as they were beginning. It was sort of this pioneering spirit, and that was why we had a lot of reforms in like education and criminal justice. It was like coming from a good place, but when you have a doctrine like biblical inerrancy, it's like, this sucks. Like, how can you have this compilation of books? It's not even like source materials. Like, where are the original writings and who wrote them and why? I don't know. I just have so many questions about it. What do you think about papal infallibility and biblical inerrancy?
We don't trust ourselves. It makes me think that, like, oh, we're just a little, I'm one of the, I'm in the category belief system that Murphy needs to come inside. Stinky poop booty, you fucking chicken allergic nug man.
Nug man.
I'm one of those people that believes that humanity has done this like over and over a few times, and it doesn't ever stop. So I just feel, it makes me feel like we're all just still infants. But the book says this.
Do you believe that in prior civilizations that they had discovered the use of combustible fossil fuels? Or do you think industrialization is like a unique period of time that we're experiencing?
There's a fucking book of this doctor wrote. She thinks we've been incarnated, or we've done this 7 times. And I've been meaning, it always sticks with me, because I can't speak about it until I really know what the base theory is. Just when I hear like, oh, we've done this, there's no evidence because the earth is fucking billion years old. Like, I'm like, yeah, that seems like a logical timeline to me. Like, yeah, if I were to bury this, is this going to survive?
Fart butt. Sorry.
Dude,
it's okay.
It is.
He's always a fart butt, though.
He's always a fart butt. I should just...
Keep him on an oatmeal diet.
And then, like, I think about context, right? Like, I think about biblical context or what was going on at the time. It's so hard to project that. I don't know what it was like. Maybe temperance was really big because they're like 85% of husbands are beating their wives.
That's
and they're
exactly
all drunk.
What I
and
was
so
gonna...
like we gotta, and it's the same thing with the 10 Commandments. They're like, they can't stop raping 11-year-old girls. Can we just like, it's like how much of that was needed to kind of like pull us out of the monkey brain
depravity.
And get to a place of like respect a little bit, but and
dignity and like mutual dignity.
Yeah, and then with that you have all these shards that you need to get rid of that are just kind of like, this got us here and these are important, but okay, let's kind of get back to what we know, and let's get back to let's revive the goddess, baby. That's what I keep thinking about. I'm like, man, it's going to be a lot of work, but if women start kind of being...
I felt you squeeze that one out. You done me dirty. I feel you pooping that out.
Murphy,
honey.
We now know how he feels about... Dude, he is so fucking happy right now, dude. Like, I can just... Like, look at this brother. His belly hurts.
Aww. He's with the beloved crone.
Teresa sent me a package. I showed you the picture of that, right?
Yeah.
I asked her, I was like, where the fuck did that come from? Let's read it.
Just to clarify, Teresa's your dad's sister, right?
It is my dad's sister. Oh, it's gone.
It was like this lady wrapped up in plastic, but wasn't she navy blue? or
She was a
something?
different color. I thought for sure. Man, where did the fucking message go? Did I dream it? Maybe I never contacted her about it. Oh, no.
You showed
Here
it to
is.
me.
This is from the Thrift Show podcast. This was in the back and 2 shelves over from what she was showing, and it jumped out and said, "Remember me, I'm now available on eBay."
Holy shit. Who is she?
Germany statue sculptor. Bust. That's $20.
Oh, she's just Beulah old lady kerchief folk art. Why does it say Gladys on it?
I don't know. Hers said Virginia, I think. I do need to get us these hats, though. Remind me of that, because this is something I need in my life.
Prismatic.
Yes.
But regarding like spirituality in general, it's such a large topic. I don't know how to begin, but it's basically like spiritualism is like contacting people who used to be here, but they're not here anymore because their body died. And that was really prominent in the early 20th century.
I've got a book about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot of hoaxes and like people who were taking advantage of that and just trying to make money and build notoriety and fame. But I do believe that was based in real people with real powers and real practices. Does Sarah know anything, or has she ever talked about like the history of spiritualism, since she's a spirit medium?
No, because I think her history is bruja. Like,
Oh, I see.
she's of Mexican descent, and there ain't no fucking if you get picked, this is what you do. There's no question, and there's no American,
Yeah, it's not like a rich white lady bridge game diversion practice.
it's your birthright. It's the thing that chooses you. It's really cool because there are classes coming out that brujos and brujas are like coming out with. Like, we've been doing this a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down and read the corn. They had a corn reading class, and I was like, I want to learn how to read corn.
Like an ear of corn?
Yeah.
That takes me back to cromneomancy.
Yes.
Reading the onions.
Like, there's so much out there where it's like you just shimmy a little bit to the right, and it is profoundly different. Mm-hmm. And steeped in history and ancestry and actual passing on. We're all in America going,
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know who any of my dead relatives are. I don't know who we're just like so cut off.
Have you seen this video? Our culture comes from like 30-second videos on the internet. We're getting somewhere.
We're getting there. I think so too. When you live in Austin, you pass a lot of homeless people a lot, and I was like, these people's ancestors are looking for them. I just know that.
I often wonder how, like, what happens to push someone out onto the street. And a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck and have like mental health issues or like some catastrophic medical bill that like forces them to go without a home. And then once you don't have a home, like, you're barely a person,
A lot of them have just burned a lot of fucking bridges. A lot of them are people who can't. If you lost your house, you'd come live with me or Aaron. These people have burnt out every.
Sorry, did you want to get done? You were doing a little whiny dance. Yeah, I think. I mean, there's got to be like a good smattering from both camps. But
a lot of them are just choosing to do I mean, it's in. There's some political science majors they don't call it homeless camps, they call it the open drug scene. These are people that just want to do heroin, and they don't want to. If you gave them a house and a job, that's not what they want.
Yeah. Can I sell this stuff to get high? Yeah, the drug epidemic in our country. Fentanyl. What do you think about that?
I remember.
Did you know it's the leading cause of death?
Yes.
For people between the ages of 18 and 40?
And no one cares. I was reading about how morgues in New England had to keep ordering, those semi-truck trailers after refrigerated semi-truck trailers, and there's like 8 of them, and they're like, there's still not enough. We still need more places. I remember a priest quit his job from priesthood and became a morgue helper because there was just so many dead bodies, and it's so crazy. We're just like, Pfizer doesn't fucking care about you. They're like, whatever. Or can we sell more?
Is it coming from Pfizer?
Oh, yes. Yes. Evil. One of the most evil corporations ever. It's like those pharmaceutical companies, I kind of lump them in with Cerberus, which is the main weapons manufacturer. They're so big and they're so... Cerberus. And they're so...
I was like, Serbia?
And they're so powerful and they're so massive, and you can't fucking touch them. No matter what.
I think there's a narrative going around that these drug chemicals, fentanyl, or the chemicals that are used to create fentanyl are generated in China and then sold to Mexico, and then the cartel pushes them up this way.
Is a huge source of that too.
But they're
mine
saying
is the prescriptions haven't gone down of opioid use. They're
but I think fentanyl comes through as fake prescription pills. It's you think this is this prescription pill, but it's really poison, and you're gonna die if you take it. But I guess also some people are trying to buy fentanyl, so because they're so used to getting high off heroin or some other shit that they need this
fentanyl when I was pregnant with Ruby for my kidney stones, and I was just like,
what?
Yeah, it's a painkiller. I mean, so it's and it's the only safe one that they can give pregnant ladies, because I can't have Tylenol or ibuprofen or morphine or any of that stuff.
Because it changes your blood pressure?
We'd have to ask Lucas. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why. But as when you're pregnant, no, there's nothing you can have. So they give me fentanyl and that shit. When you have kidney stones and it's day 6 and you heard voices because you're in so much pain.
Oh my God. I did not know you had kidney stones while you were preg.
I was sobbing on the floor. Because you could feel a wave coming on, and you knew that for the next 3 to 5 minutes, there's a shard of calcium tearing through your outrageously sensitive kidney tissue. Ooh. Essentially the water filter of your body.
My boyfriend in high school, his dad had a kidney stone, and he said it was the only time he ever cried.
They're like, it's a baby moving, and I'm like, baby hasn't moved in days. I'm in so much pain. I wasn't drinking anything, because if you drank stuff, then you'd have to filter it.
Yeah.
I was in so much pain. I was rocking back and forth on the bathroom floor, and the moon was shining on me, and I was hearing voices. I was in a trance of just absolute pain. I think that almost prepared me for how painful the birth was going to be. Because every nurse and doctor, when the midwives were like, just fucking go to the ER, we'll have a bed ready for you, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they knocked my ass out, and it was the first relief I had in almost a week. The nurses and doctors were like, that is nothing compared to that is way worse than childbirth. Childbirth will feel.
Did you find that to be accurate?
No. Different kind of pain, same intensity. Same intensity. Whew. So what do you think is going to come from the Ashbury revivalist? What do they call it? Spiritual revival? What's the term that's happened before and it's been happening?
Evangelical Christianity. No, it's an umbrella term for the
thing that's happening, the event itself.
It's a revival.
A revival. Yeah.
It's the testify. Come on down here and testify.
Do you think anything's going to come of it? Do you think Jesus is going to show up?
I think it renews some people's spiritual fervor, It's oh, these kids are these kids are bringing us into the 2020s with scripture and with faith. And
you know, it was crazy to think it's like, was that last week there were 4 train derailments, all carrying highly toxic chemicals. There were 5 UFOs.
Yeah.
There was a school shooting, and we're like, huh?
That's why people are like, this means things are going to turn around and things are going to get better, because we've been sliding into depravity since, you know, the liberal left has pushed their agenda and, you know, allowed for same-sex marriages and, you know, various individual rights that shouldn't be granted because of scripture. Yeah, it's interesting to think like what one person's version of depravity looks like versus another person's version of depravity. To me, depravity is there's no choice. You have to behave a specific way, and we tell you exactly how you're supposed to behave. That's depraved. We have individual rights and
a lot of freedom.
And freedom, yeah. And I don't know, different versions of freedom, different versions of what a good life looks like, a life well lived.
The possibilities are there.
Yeah, and I think this country is mostly about everybody getting to live out their life how they see fit, as long as it doesn't fuck anyone else's shit up. So that's why we have a separation of church and state. I respect your right to worship however you want, but please let me do the same.
Yeah, but then you see all those fucking churches who are just, I mean, I guess it's like when you're draining your worshipers of all of their fucking savings to build your big church. I went to a pastor's house like two years ago. There was a baby shower there. I was like, there's a movie theater right there. I was like, I don't like being in this, and you guys all feel like good people, but I can't be here because of the jealous rage of the tax exemption that is so blaringly in my fucking face right now. Yeah,
churches are tax-free, but they're hard to heat, so it kind of balances out.
They're hard to what?
Heat. Like, the AC costs are high. That was a joke from, I almost said Family Guy. That was a joke from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, it's just...
Do you gotta go out?
They gotta go to the taxidermist. They're late for their taxidermy appointment.
You wanna go too? You can stay.
The Murph stays on the turf. He's just such a happy bub. He just wants to be near anybody with fingers and hands.
Come on.
I'm your baby. I'm your baby.
Let me be your baby.
We've ruined them on a DNA level.
I want to be your baby.
I want to be your mama and I'm your baby. Don't look at me.
We were talking about maybe borrowing him so Kiana can play with him.
Oh my god, please. He needs a buddy. We brought him over to Paris's house, and he has a puppy, and I've never seen a dog romp so hard. They romped to the nth degree.
That's how they testify. That's their spiritual awakening.
It's bacon. Their cross is made of bacon.
So another like very like central doctrine to evangelical Christianity is like being born again.
Do you want to be born again?
I have been born again.
Oh.
Well, when I was Catholic, I was christened at birth. I have my christening gown still.
Do you want to wear it?
It only fits my baby body. It's like the torso is this big. But
I want to hold you as a baby.
The skirt is like this long.
Yeah.
So I was christened so that my infant body wouldn't, go to hell or whatever if I died when I was a baby. But then I guess I was 12 or maybe 11 because I got my period when I was 12. And I think this was before my period. I was 11 when I was born again in the Baptist church.
They dunk you in milk or something?
Yeah. It was like this pool with stairs on both sides. and the pastor was like in the pool, and you like walk down the stairs and take his hand.
I smell a photo shoot between you and me.
Let's go, the creek.
Yeah, I
fucking
smell
creek.
a fucking photo shoot between you and me.
We started it with that Rubbish Cook episode about
Yes.
okonomiyaki. Let's do it. That'll be dope. But I don't know, like, what did that do to my spirit? Did that make me a evangelical Christian? Am I a Baptist because I got baptized?
No.
No.
You are Pope of the Grilled Cheese Committee.
I am the Chancellor of the Gun Farm.
So, thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to be talking about some really deep concepts regarding humanity and our struggle to find meaning in everything we do.
Yes, you.
Ooh, we've got memes to look at.
Show the memes. The people want the memes.
Before I run out of minutes. Oh, shit. Come on. Get to the memes. Get to the memes.
Give us the memes.
Meme.
You want a meme? You got
Will
a
you
meme?
join my Discord server?
Yes. How does that work? Actually, I think I can figure it out. I think I was on the Office Hours Discord.
It's just a chat room.
Yeah.
I was, okay, so for all of y'all, I've got a Patreon now, which is so cool to see people who want to financially support my art. It feels like a revival of like Roman, having a commissioned sculpture piece.
Yeah, for
people are
sure.
commissioning you to like keep going and just do whatever you want. And with that, people are like, where's your Discord? Where's your Discord? Where's your Discord? And I was like, that sounds terrifying. But I talked to Lucas and it's like, I'll be on from 9 to 5 or whatever, or late, I'll have boundaries of when I will be on it or when I'll be available. And so if you go to my Patreon, I'll put a link down below. You get access to our Discord, and I hope to cultivate like a really strange, people in Spite's Discord were like, Whitney, since you're weird, it's gonna get weird, but they're like, but we're good weird. And I was like, okay, this is all the...
Yeah, we know how to snuff out the bad weird.
We do know how to... I feel like I have like a fucking PhD in that a little bit. Like I can tell when you're chill and when you're not chill. And it's very rare I come across somebody that's not chill. Okay, there's a lot of memes. I'm gonna put them up. So first we have, I'll put them up. We've got beautiful... Dude, I want this in my fucking house. Magic Toaster, please, if there's... maybe there's like a picture to painting service or something,
Yeah,
because I need this in my house.
It's stunning.
There's you as Jesus. It's
That one is disturbing. The beard is just like a shade.
Love this one.
That one's beautiful.
I also, Magic Toaster, can you do us as guys? Because I really like the like I want the fucking flippy flappy coat with the buckle shoes.
All
and
the frillies.
Yeah, like I think that would be fun. All right, so here's the first meme.
Let's see there.
We're watching.
Okay.
So for those of you
Breakdancing
listening,
Christ.
yeah, it's like a nice little painting, right? And Christ is breakdancing, and then you've got us from Motorcycle Video watching. It looks like we're cheering Christ on.
Go, 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 go.
I think this one's from Full Metal Corgi. It's me as the Pope.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. She's on the
I
papal
am
balcony.
infallible.
The papal balcony in the Vatican. Infallible Whitney. Infallible Whitney.
There's two memes, but they're cut off. But this became like a format. I'm like,
I don't
I'm like,
understand what those letters mean, but
yeah,
I like that
know.
picture
It's
of
a
you.
motorcycle. This was a good one. It's a screen cap from our Zoom pod.
Uh-huh. How boomers answer Zoom calls, how Gen Z answers Zoom calls.
I've got a mustache on, and
She's got the background going. I am a boomer in that way.
oh, was that it? I'm gonna send, and then oh yeah, when your toddler fights you for the TV remote. Desperately seeking internet validation before my serotonin high fades.
Oh shit.
That's us in Costa Rica on the beach
But we've been
storming.
superimposed on the storming of the beaches of Normandy in
That's
World
you
War
as
II.
the Elmo, the fiery Elmo.
My eyes look demented.
This is me as fart jokes are the future.
Yes, that's really cute. Wait, some of these are t-shirts, right?
I know. I was trying to think. I was like, okay, so obviously both Magic Toaster and Full Metal Corgi get a t-shirt. I got to figure out our t-shirt shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, how do we turn these into...
I don't know. They need to be really high resolution in order for them to go onto a t-shirt nicely. Oh no.
That's me
You look
choking
jacked
Bart
in that.
Simpson. It's me squeezing mustard on a hot dog.
I love this series.
This is
Wait, what were you talking about? Do you remember what you were talking about when you made that face?
No. No, we've done so many podcast episodes. Like Heather texted me and she was like, oh, XYZ. I was like, I don't
remember talking about
She's
that.
like, it's episode 8. I'm like, oh God.
That was like last year.
Scooby-Doo, let me see who you really are.
And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
So, yeah, I don't know, or like a calendar. Keep sending us memes. We'll fucking figure out something.
Calendar would be cool. I love a wall calendar.
Or like, yeah, like the magnet. Like John Paul has like that beautiful little calendar magnet.
Fart jokes are the future.
I'm there's some fear behind starting a community because I have to be vulnerable and I have to be a moderator, but I know that it's the way. I know that if I could connect with other people who want a safe space to talk about their traumas or how they feel or things that have happened to them that they don't feel comfortable talking about or they just want to laugh with us.
I think it's the logical next step for you as a healer.
I think too, like you had the office hours, like that was like your thing and you watched it and you got to be a part of it.
And that opened up a weird little portal into a different reality for a time period. But then I sort of stepped aside from it because it wasn't, I don't know, I didn't really see where it was going to end. So I haven't watched it in a while. I still really appreciate the community, but I haven't been able to attend a live service recently.
It made me...
Sorry, Tim.
2 minutes. It made me remember when I found the Harmontown podcast community, everything changed. I suddenly felt like I wasn't alone anymore in the universe. There were other people that thought like me. And when you would go, I went to see Harmontown. I'm in the documentary because of how much I loved Harmontown.
What's Harmontown?
Dan Harmon is the producer for Community. Did you ever watch that show with Donald Glover?
It's got Chevy Chase in it.
That show is the only show on TV to make me laugh out loud. So I loved that show. And then I found Dan Harmon. He had a podcast. And then they made a documentary about him. He's one of the co-creators of Rick and Morty. He's just like listening to his podcast and then going there and meeting other people. I felt for the first time connection because I grew up without friends. I had a hard time making friends. And then when you're in the Midwest, if you find the one person, they'll just fucking betray the shit out of you. I found that was a common theme with like my cousins and stuff too. Like, yeah, they were fine, and then one day they were just an absolute cunt, and I was the demon and devil, and then Erica. You know, it's like we all had similar experiences in the Midwest trying to fucking make friends, but then getting out of there was like huge. So the podcast was really tethering, and Duncan Trussell's podcast was another big one. Going there, everybody was dressed as popes and nuns and smoking joints outside, and the line to talk to him was 50 people long because people just want to be like, thank you for speaking out loud.
I rewatched his like smoked meat video last night. The song that he made with Johnny Pemberton where they're like,
that's your next thing.
Hey babe, I just bought a smoker. I'm gonna eat your ass after I eat this meat.
I should post that. That is so fuck. I'll post a link to it down below. It is really, it's AI generated fracked fractal art with a song that they wrote behind it, and it's so fucking funny. That's your next step, man. You got to bring music into your life. I feel like you are a songbird
Dude,
waiting
the
to
videos
sing.
of Jay dancing that Teresa sent to
Oh
me.
my gosh.
Those are incredible.
To think that we're on a TV, you're on a TV.
Yeah, somebody sent me a picture of them like showing their roommates rubbish cook like on a big TV, and I was like, whoa.
I remember telling Yami, like, you know, he was like, everybody watches YouTube on their phone, blah, 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 nothing matters. I was like, dude, I didn't watch YouTube until my TV, there was an app on the TV. So I've only ever watched shit on my television.
Yeah.
And that was
It
huge.
feels better to have it far away from you instead of just right here. And when you're doing it right here, you have like 10 seconds and then you get tired of it. I assume. That's why all the specific phone media is like geared to be really short.
We've lost the visuals, but whatever. People can look at whatever funny pictures I put on this.
I'm going to take off my shirt then.
Oh, shit.
Woo!
Ah, shit.
Shit.
Oh, what a beautiful pod. It's always a beautiful day to pod.
I always want to get so deep in the history of it because I find the history to be so interesting. It's like you think things just fall out of the ether a certain way, but there are like points along our timeline where we can.
Well, maybe I want to know the history.
I want to teach you the history. You can heal. You'll be the healer and the medium. I'll be the teacher, the researcher. I'll like not combat, but sort of emphasize or, conceptualize.
Yeah, maybe we can like structure that a little bit more.
That'd be cool. I mean, I like when you bring a topic. Like you sending me a video, it's like
Okay, sick.
spurred into that's like what happens to me. Like an idea lands in my head and then I have to know more. Like I have to write down all the things I can about it and figure out everything I can about it.
You're the ideal regurgitator because I don't want to be fed by anybody else.
Yeah. I'll regurgitate all over your ass.
And for $10 a month, you can watch that. All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.